What is up, beautiful people? Kirby Hasseman here, and today I want to talk to you about getting better, building a better brand. This is sort of in that series of videos and podcasts that we've been doing to try and help you level up your game. The goal is not to be perfect, the goal is to be better. And if you're enjoying these, please feel free to subscribe and share with anyone you think would get some value. So today I want to talk to you about building a better brand. You know, when I think of brands that have lasting power, that every time they launch a new product, they have a line of people waiting to buy it. I think of people like Apple. I think of people like Harley Davidson and Yeti and Nike. And those people have built, those organizations have built an amazing brand, a long-lasting brand. And branding does several things. Number one, it does increase sort of the demand for your product. Once you have a brand, you know that you have built-in demand for your product. The other thing is it builds in margin. It builds in a higher price. People are willing to pay a little bit more based on the brand, sometimes a lot more based on the brand. And I think all of us want to build a better brand. We want not only for our organization to have a better reputation in whatever industry, but we want to build in margin. We want to build in that demand, and we want to do it in a way that makes sense. So today I want to talk about 4 ways to do that. Now, we don't get to start where Nike starts. We don't get to start where Apple starts. So we have to start where we are. And so this video is for those who want to start building a brand today. And so I'm going to give you 4 different ways that you can start right away. Start right away building a brand that actually matters. Step number 1, fulfill your promises, right? So I'm sure you're like, well, no duh, right? Like, of course we need to fulfill our promises. And I think we all know that, but it goes back to that favorite rule of mine: the greatest distance in the world is the distance between I know and I do. So the reason I say this is that there are so many organizations, so many companies, so many brands out there that are not fulfilling their promises. They're over-promising yet under-delivering. They are saying they're going to do one thing, but then they do another. And if you want to build a brand and you want to build sort of enthusiastic brand ambassadors, that's what I like to call it. If you have a real brand, you have enthusiastic brand ambassadors. These are the people who are going to tell your story on your behalf. And if you want to start that today, you need to simply fulfill your promises. Now, that might mean going back to your marketing. It might be having conversations with your sales team to say, look, let's make sure that what we are telling people that we're going to do, we do. So that's step 1. It's a simple step, but it's one that many organizations miss out on. Step number 2. Step number 2, do just a little bit more. Once you've fulfilled those promises, once you've done the thing you said you're going to do, when you can surprise and delight with just a little bit more, just over-deliver just a tiny little bit, it's amazing the impact that's going to have on creating enthusiastic brand ambassadors. My friend Stan Phelps, who's got many books out there, the Goldfish series of books, he talks about glue. The organizations, the brands that create glue are the ones that create sticky brand ambassadors. What's glue? Glue stands for giving little unexpected extras. So let's dive into that really quick. So giving, you're just providing some little tiny piece of value. Maybe that's, it's the old baker's dozen. You give just one more donut. You do something in the delivery of your service that just makes it exceptional. You do that little thing. Sometimes those things don't have to cost you very much at all. I think of CD Baby. They did an email, and this was years and years ago, but the email that was the order confirmation, the thank you email, was so over the top and so exceptional. That was sort of their giving little unexpected extra. So giving, that's the first thing. Little, it doesn't have to be anything big, but it's something that they were not expecting, which goes to you, unexpected. If you do it every single time, then your customer base starts to build up a sense of entitlement that they're going to get it every time. So you need to do something unexpected. And then, of course, it's the extra. It's the thing that they didn't necessarily pay for, they didn't necessarily expect, that can really make you stand out. So step 1 in building enthusiastic brand ambassadors, which is your way to build a better brand. Step 1 is just to fulfill your promise. Step 2 is to go just a little bit farther. Hey everybody, quick break. If you're enjoying this episode and getting value, please feel free to subscribe however you're listening. And please feel free to rate the podcast and share it with someone who might get some value. Now, back to the episode. Then step 3. Own your mistakes. Unfortunately, no matter how hard we try, no matter what we do, there's going to be times that we mess up. Whether it's our team that messes up, whether it's us that messes up, it happens. And I think that this is one of the places where a lot of people miss it, right? They might have delivered on their promise, but inevitably something's going to go wrong at some point. And a lot of brands, a lot of organizations, a lot of small businesses and entrepreneurs put their head in the sand. They ignore the problem. And so that exacerbates it, right? That makes it worse. So I think, when you think of having to call customer service, you think of having to call those organizations that you don't think of as great brands, oh man, you got to brace for impact. I'm going to be on hold for hours. They're going to say it's my fault. And so that's sort of the expectation. When something goes wrong in business with the organization, you think when you're like, oh, I got to call these people and it's going to be terrible. And when you get a brand or an organization that's like, oh, I'm so sorry, we're going to take care of this immediately. Here's your refund. Here's this. We're going to take care of it. Here's your replacement. And they do it seamlessly. Oh, sometimes that's when you can turn a negative connotation, a negative experience with your customer into a super positive because they want to share. That is so exceptional and so unusual in today's day. One of the ways to build enthusiastic brand ambassadors is just to own your mistakes and fix it. When somebody comes to you with a mistake, one of the tactics is for you to get angry on their behalf, right? Oh my gosh, I can't believe this has happened to you. It's unacceptable, because I think what will happen is A, it puts you in the right frame of mind to fix their problem. And B, the other thing that happens is they're like, whoa, it's not that big a deal. Don't worry. It puts you in the position of saying, no, this is not how we do things. We're going to fix this for you. And that's a way to not only build a bridge, but build a brand. And the final step, number 4, in building enthusiastic brand ambassadors, but building a better brand, is to do regular appreciation. We talk about creating customer appreciation programs, a quarterly customer appreciation program. So let me dive into what that means. So in most businesses, the Pareto's rule comes into play. It means that it's the 80-20 rule, if you've heard of that. So 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your customers. Across so many different industries, platforms, this comes into play. It certainly is true in our business. 80% of our revenue comes from 20% of our customers, and it's probably true of your business as well. We might play with those percentages, but a vast majority of your revenue is going to come from a small minority of your actual customers. So when you talk about appreciation, the fact of the matter is you want to show appreciation for all of your customers. You want to do, the things, you want to fulfill your promises, you want to do just a little extra, and you want to show appreciation to every single person who purchases from you. But that 20%, that group that drives the real revenue, you want to really stand out. You want to make sure that they know that you care. One of my statistics that I quote all the time is that 69% of customers that leave you because of perceived indifference, which is just crazy, right? It means almost 70% of the people who leave because they just don't think you care. And man, A, easy to fix, B, kind of scary, right? So let's make sure that none of your top customers, let's hope that none of your customers think that you don't care, but your top customers, those ones that drive the real revenue, you want to make sure that they know that you really give a damn about their business. You really care about their trust and the support that they give your organization. So a quarterly appreciation program is a great way to start that. You just simply set a budget. Here's how much I want to spend per person, per customer, per year. Divide that by 4, and once a quarter you go into that organization and give them something. Obviously, you can do gift cards, you can just send thank you notes. We're a big believer in branded merch because we feel like that creates a lasting affinity, a lasting impression with those people, so that every time they look around their desk, their kitchen, wherever, they see that, think of you, and remember the time that you showed them appreciation and gave them something of value that they can keep and use. So that's it. Those are your 4 steps in starting to build a better brand. You start to build those enthusiastic brand ambassadors. Again, it's do what you say you're going to do. Do just a little bit more. Own your mistakes, and then create a quarterly appreciation program where you're going to your customer base. You're going to those people who support you when you're not asking them for money. The reality of it is we are all really good at going to our customers when we want to sell them something, when we want to ask them for money. But this is an opportunity for you to get in front of them and just say thank you and show them appreciation for their support of you. So I hope this has provided you value. We will keep them coming. Remember, the goal here is not to be perfect. It's just to be a little bit better. We'll see you next time.